What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy, finally with another video. A lot of devastating stuff happened to me, but I'm back. I have drinking, I don't know, drinking, I don't know, some stuff to make me hyper in order to make this video. So let's do this. As you read in the title, it is a deck profile video. Finally, of my Seraph Purelight post D-BT07. I really didn't add any D-BT07 supports. I don't find anything under Brandt gate in that new booster set usable. So this is basically the latest version of my deck. I don't know if it's a genius idea to share my deck profile, the deck that I've been using in tournaments. Either way, I might edit it later on. I keep editing the list whenever I get match against something that I'm having a hard time. So let's start with the deck profile. As per usual, same ride line. The 0, 1, 2, and 3, nothing changed. You already know what happens if you go second draw. When placed on Vanguard circle, search the prison order. Use the prison order. I'll say the skill later. Just a brief explanation on what every card does. I'm not gonna read everything. This allows you to prison one card from opponent's hand when placed on a Vanguard circle. Then this allows you to swing 23k and triple drive if you have 1, 2, 3 or more prison cards in your prison. Then with the cost of counterblast, prison 2, very nice ride line. No need to change anything. I don't know, maybe some people do have a different list. My list is I think it's very not traditional, because I run some stuff that are questionable. Of course, we run 4 grade 4s. I no longer run the grade 3s. The list is very tight. 4 grade 4s. The grade 4 allows you to have your front row gain 5,000 for every 2 prison cards in your prison. When you reach 10 or more, your whole front row gets 2 criticals as base crits of each unit in the front row. Wow, very English. It has an on-play skill. When you pay its cost, you need to soul blast a Seraph and counter blast. Your opponent chooses 2 of each from the rear guards, opponent's soul, and 2 hand cards. All of those, a total of 6 maximum, into the prison. Very nice grade 4. Of course, triple drive. I must say this is since this game, the deck becomes very frightening even when I face it myself in a mirror match. Moving on, very questionable. Next card, why I'm running 4 of these. This is my answer to decks that solely runs on tokens, something that I can prison. 4, Crumple Orchid. I know it's kind of dumb that I'm running this, but it's okay, it's working. As they said, it's not dumb if it's working. It's working for me, so you don't have to try it too. But if you want to try dumb list, try mine. 4, Crumple Orchid. Its skill is at the end of the battle, let your Seraph Vanguard attack. I think pay the cost of counterblast 2. Your opponent chooses 1 grade 1 or greater card in their prison and add it to their hand. In exchange, you get to stun that little card. This is little because it's a cardboard, nothing else. It's a stander. It doesn't require you to have a certain amount of prison. So even if you have no cards in your prison, it will function. So that's my answer to token decks. I forget the main playstyle. I abandon it and I go aggro with multiple attacks. Next, we go straight into the grade 2s. Bang! The skill of that order is basically back row wipe out. Whole back row will be imprisoned. It is non-targeting. You just pay the cost of Soul Blast 2. Then all of your opponents' back row rear guards will be imprisoned. Very good order when you're fighting against Magnolia and Peaks. Well and tested. And now that Magnolia and Inlet will be released from choice restriction, my boys, you will be needing this. I promise you that. But there are certain decks that I think this cannot bypass. I don't know. I'm not reading everything that is revealed. Next order. Back then I used to run 3 or 4. Now I'm only running 2. I might increase the amount because there's so many standing rear guards in every deck nowadays. It's like Cardfight Vanguard era again. Soul Blast 1, choose when your opponent's attacking unit gets minus 5,000 until end of turn for each of your opponent's cards in prison in your prison. Very redundant. Basically, if you target something that restands on its first swing, even if it restands, it's still its power is still deducted. I fought, I think, Inlet Pulse that is swinging for 27. I have 7 prison cards, so 27 minus 35k, that is negative 8. So when it stood, it's negative 8. Very great order. I suggest you run this if you're not running it. Moving on, more grade 2s, but this time units, not orders. I'm running, of course, 4 of these. It's Cuff Spring, 0 cost. You just place it on rear. Your opponent chooses a card from their hand, imprisons it, then draws a card. A great way to fight off token rear guards, since you can prison those. At least have at least 1 or maybe reach 3 or 4 prisons whenever you fight those kind of decks. But nonetheless, this list works even if you're fighting decks that are relying on tokens. I only have 2 copies, that's why I run 2. But in the future, if I ever get 2 more, at least 1 more copy, I'll be running more copies of this. This is the promo card. Oh, Jesus Christ. Accuse Macarite. On place from hand, Soul Blast 1. Your opponent imprisons the top card of their deck in your prison face up. Then if 2 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, this unit gets +5 until end of turn. So this basically is another way to keep your prison count higher, even if the opponent doesn't have a field or your opponent's field is full of tokens. Moving on, grade 1s. Let's go straight into my favorite staple. 3. Cheval Stud. Very great card. Been using it since its release. Pay costs. I think you can see the cost, so I'm not gonna say it anymore. You choose one opponent's rear guards, prison it. Then if there's 3 or more cards in your opponent's prison, you draw a card. So I've been using it for field prisoning, but at times I just pay the cost to get the draw, since I have more prison cards. There's 3 or more prison cards in my prison. Oh my god, it's getting annoying to say imprison in your prison. Next, since as you can tell by now, there's so many counter blasting cards in this deck, I run 4 Boba Mines. Very expensive, I think, nowadays, but back then I got them for nearly 100 pesos each. But I didn't really buy, I just do trades. 4 Bobble Mines, great for soul and counter charging. Soul charging and soul counter charging, since a lot of these cards use soul blasts, a lot of them use counter blasts. So I'm running 4 to compensate for my expenditure. Or is that the right word? I don't know. For my heavy soul blast and heavy counter blasting deck. Of course, I'm running 4 PGs. I'm not running that order PG since my deck is grade 4 focus. The old grade ones because I don't want the new ones. This art is better. If your hand has 1 or less hand card, I think you don't have to discard anymore. The prison order, you activate this by resting a unit in your field, then you soul charge this in order to put this into the order zone. Triggers, 4 effect draws. I like having huge hand size. It's a 10k shield if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. 4 effect fronts. It's a 20k shield if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. The over trigger, all the breath. I don't mean. Is there a new one? No, there's no WO yet. Once the WO comes, I'll probably replace this. Basically, its additional effect is it doubles up the power and critical all of your front row units until end of turn. Very good OT for Seraph. Then more fronts because I think back then I already told in previous deck profiles I rather run fronts than crits. I don't know why, but it does the job of my playstyle, which is usually Vanguard first. If I have the restander, rear guard 1 attack, then Vanguard. Effect heals. This becomes 25k shield if the attacking unit has what do you call this? Attack 2 or more times this turn. This becomes a 25k shield if the attacking unit has 2 or more crits, I think. Its original critical becomes 2 or greater by skill, not by trigger effect. So that's the list. That's it. I need to do stuff now. Shoo, go away. But before that, leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell button to see future uploads notifications, share if you want, and see you in the next video. I don't know when. I lost so much stuff. I don't know what I can do content now. Maybe card fights that are not edited, just like this. Wait, this is edited. I'll be putting a background music because it's weird talking for over 12 minutes and there's no music.